Minnesota is still wilding out, and what's happening with Donald Trump is I'm pretty definitive in my opinion here that it's darker than we could have imagined. I'm trying to put the pieces together to figure out why this is happening. Why? Why is this happening? What is this? Why is Donald Trump leading an executive branch that is spending so much capital from a political standpoint, from a personnel standpoint, just literally from just a financial standpoint in Minnesota? Why? So many dollars per deportation. The Minnesota, they already have like this whole breakdown of how to find the ICE agents, to know where the ICE agents are. If you really wanted to go into a blue state, why wouldn't you just go to another one and keep them guessing and get out of Minnesota? Let them, they built up their infrastructure. Now it's for nothing because the ICE people are out right now and they're not trained anywhere, or the Border Patrol. They're not trained anyway. Why is this happening? You need to ask that question at this point. And it's been very much bothering me, and I think I have the idea. I think I have the answer. And it's been in front of me the whole time. The answer is crystal clear. Donald Trump was never about this. Okay? He was never about this life. He was never what he was sold as to people. Donald Trump is confirmed, in my eyes, as a complete and utter, not only a fraud, he is, I don't know if he's compromised or what, he is the opposite. He is the opposite of what you thought and I thought he was. I called him Bill Clinton from the 90s. Bill Clinton from the 90s, he's Hillary Clinton. He's trying to sabotage the mass deportation movement or push forever. He's trying to sabotage it forever. That's what Donald Trump is doing. I don't know if he's too old and doesn't know, if it's like a Joe Biden situation. I don't know the ins and outs, but he's responsible from a standpoint of he's the president. He is sabotaging. If you want mass deportation, Donald Trump is purposely, I am not alleging, he is purposely sabotaging the push for mass deportation. He's trying to, at least, forever. Because that's the only explanation that makes sense. He's not going after corporations. Why is he spending so much money and political capital in Minnesota? He hasn't come out and said damn near anything. I don't know what's going to go on with Pam Bondi. Why is she still there? Why is Kristi Noem still there? Who is she sleeping with now? I mean, she could be sleeping with anybody, and I don't want to be crass. Who wants to sleep with her at this point? I have no idea what's going on with that, but the quickest, most logical explanation is that our president is compromised. He is not on your side. There is no way this makes any sense. When Trump was running for office, what was immigration? A 70-30 issue? 70% of people agreeing for what was basically the question, that every illegal would be deported from this country. It was about a 70-30 issue. This thing was about a 70-30 issue. Now look at this. None of this would be happening without Trump either ignoring it or being okay with it. How many damn videos are we going to see with the Minnesota whites blowing whistles? This is them trying to break into a hotel where allegedly ICE was staying. We've seen videos with the Minnesota whites going to Enterprise rental car and purposely renting a car and then canceling the order to clog up the system. None of this. If Trump moved to, I don't know, wherever, whatever other blue state, I don't want him in any blue state. He needs to be in the right states. I mean, you haven't got all the illegals out of the red states. Why don't we start there? Get the numbers as high as possible if that was really your goal. Obviously, that's not the goal. Let's say you did want to go to a blue state for whatever the hell reason, a blue state that's not cooperating, putting your agents at risk, putting the public at risk, and then spending hella dollars per deportation. If you wanted to do that, all you have to do is go to a different state and none of this would be happening. They would all have to move over. I mean, there's some in every area. I know there's in Austin, Texas and all that, but they wouldn't have the same infrastructure built up, obviously. It would be more difficult, at least obviously, to delay it. Donald Trump is worse than we thought. It's not only is the MAGA movement over, he is in complete sabotage mode. This dude is like Brody from Homeland. The dude is something, he is worshiping, he is working for somebody else. He is not working for you because this makes no sense under any, there is no argument. I haven't heard an argument where this makes sense. I'm not defending I'm not defending the rioters. That's a completely separate topic. Let's talk about Donald Trump. What is happening? If you were going to stay in Minnesota in order to keep everybody safe, you would bring the hammer down. Military, everything. This shit is done. If that's the only way it makes sense to say this shit is done. It's over. All of this. You don't stay in Minnesota for what? What is this? This can't happen. Trump is allowing this to happen. Why isn't Pam Bondi out? Kristi Noem. Trump does not want, he never wanted to do mass deportations. We knew that from the start. We knew that when he was running, where he tried to talk big on it. Very smart, especially in primary talk. Then the general election comes and he's like, oh, well, we'll start with the illegals. Then he gets in office and then he's been back and forth. But at one point he was like, you know what? The farms, the hospitalities, they're too important there. No charges pressed up against companies. How are these illegals making money? Big companies, for the most part. No charges on that. So you only go into the streets. And then now all of the video, all of the focus is on Minnesota. Just the issue now is 70% of people want ICE removed. Or it's 60-40. It's flipped. The numbers have flipped as far as public sentiment. This is not an accident. It's not incompetence. Trump is not stupid. He's been in the game. This is his second term. Maggots, why can't you look at this and see what's happening? You're being set up. You're being played. And what is he doing? He's setting it up for the far right to say, you got to go harder. You got to go harder. You got to go harder. Which is true. Either you have to go harder or out, which is killing the public sentiment. It's all by design. This is not an accident. These people, there is nothing that I know that they don't know 10 times more. There's nothing that happens on a federal basis like this. Would Kamala have been better? What are you listening to me? What does it have to do with anything I just said? Would Kamala have been better? Who am I talking to? Is the mic working? Is there anything I said that you disagree with? What is the purpose of this? There's illegals all over the country. Before you go to Minnesota or any place where there's this much pushback, you have to turn someone into lead Swiss cheese. 10 times, 9 shots in the back turned and everything. I'm not a legal expert. Again, I'm not talking about legal, but for me, it's a just shooting. I'm not saying it's not just. What I'm saying is that's not good. That's not good optics. That's not deporting anybody. Capping liberal VA nurses, male liberal VA nurses, and women lesbian mothers of two is not good optics. I'm sorry, guys. The both shooters are just. I'm not calling for anybody to be arrested or anything like that. I'm talking about Donald Trump. What is the logic here? Stop talking about Kamala. Focus. There's some type of mass psychosis issue happening here, just like COVID. What is Trump doing? Tell me how this makes sense. Tell me how it makes sense. Haven't heard it yet. So we're seeing these more videos of more chaos. Is that what we want? What is the goal? Is the goal chaos, or is the goal deporting people who shouldn't be here? What's the goal? Because this isn't deporting anyone. You've got all kinds of, you've got not just public sentiment. Well, how do you think the Border Patrol agents are feeling right now? Now, maybe you might have a bunch of the gun-ho ones, like the ones that will give somebody 9 shots, or they're probably trading off shots and Rodney King and the dude. Actually, I'm actually perfectly fine with them Rodney Kinging that dude, and even worse than Rodney Kinging him. Based on the knowledge I have, I'm absolutely, I have no problem with it. But how do you think they feel? Because now they're in these positions where I saw a video where one of them standing looking like a homeless person. I mean, he was in tactical gear, but I mean, he's bleeding. And he's like, there's nobody around. I don't know if this is real or AI, man. I'm always going to qualify that. I am the boomer who doesn't even know the difference. But this is the video that I'm seeing here. I use AI all the time, and I'm the one who doesn't know what AI is. Yeah. But this is from Anthony Cabasa. Says a federal officer is bleeding and injured after confrontation with anti-ICE protesters. They are requesting backup. 0 local police present. The dude looked like he's crying. I mean, what is this, dog? Who's supporting this on the right? What is this? This nigga out here by himself crying. You don't look fine, my nigga.
You're giving comments to the local PD. Do you have any comments to the community, the people that want you out, people who are here specifically because your department is here?
This nigga cold as hell. They're bleeding out, standing up, and then I don't know what's happening. It sounds like it's a leftist interviewing them. Where are we going? What's going on here, man? If we're gonna do this, why isn't Trump doing the Insurrection Act? That's where I'm at. That's the point where I'm at, where it's like he has to do it. So the public sentiment has changed, and here's your federal officer. How you doing? Let's check in. Hey guys, how's the Operation Metro Surge going? Led by the one and only Kristi Noem, who can't find a nigga who she wouldn't open her legs to. She's leading the Department of the Homeland Security of our country. How's everything going over there? Let's check in.
I'm fine.
Oh, good. You're fine?
Sir, you're giving comments to the local PD. Do you have any comments?
Oh, you're fine. Are you bleeding? Are you sure you're good? Where's your backup?
That want you out. The people who are here specifically because.
Are you crying, my nigga?
Your department is here. Do you think it's
nothing
worthwhile if you're going to give comments?
This nigga playing GTA with 1 bar left. This is what happens when Trump is obviously a male feminist. You put women in charge. So you have Pam Bondi in charge of the DOJ. Where basically, Kash Patel is just he's literally a cross-eyed Jeet who can't. I know him more as the boyfriend of an Israeli spy, allegedly a country singer. Correction, I made a mistake, so I'm gonna do a correction. There's no way she's an Israeli spy. There's no way she's that. I know him as the boyfriend of a bad country singer more than anything else. So he's basically a woman too. These are your leaders. Let's check in and let's see how the men on the ground are doing. How's the mass deportations going?
Comment for the people of Minneapolis.
They look like they're deporting them. They brought the feds into Minnesota, and the feds are being deported. That's what it looks like. There's shit all over the ground. What is happening, man? There's shit all over. This is Trump. This is your boy. This is your boy. I've jumped the ship. I was on the Titanic. I saw the iceberg, and I was like, get the hell up out of this motherfucker. I jumped off. I didn't even get a raft. I just dove straight in. I'll figure it out later. I don't know where y'all going. Y'all hit the iceberg now. So now I'm on the raft floating in the water by myself because now I'm in no man's land. I can't rock with. The only people who kind of rock with me are the Groypers. And thank you for the Groypers, man. Everybody talks about how bad they are, man. They're the only people they rock. Literally, I don't rock. The Libertarians don't rock with me. The MAGA, they don't rock with me. The left don't rock with me. I'm like, can I get a help from the Groyper? And they're like, yeah, they might use the hard AER, but they'll help a brother out. This nigga look like a lost, sad puppy. I really hope this is AI. There's a graffiti on the door. I mean, this is straight up off of some type of bad dystopian movie. This is like a bad TNT original or something like that. There's no way this is real. The federal agent crying. There's no... Why is he by himself? What is happening? How is he by himself? Where's backup?
See what happened to your nose?
No. I'm fine. You're not fine. You got leftist protesters being like, what happened to your nose, bro? That leftist protester is probably the one that broke his nose or whatever. Trash in the background. Graffiti on the door. How's the mass deportations going? Why are you still in on that? Why are you all still even talking about that? Mass deportations? The numbers aren't there. They never were there. And he's clearly, whether you agree, whether it's on purpose or not, clearly, without any doubt, zero doubt, he is sabotaging it. The only debate is, and who cares whether it's on purpose or not? Who really cares? At the end of the day, he's sabotaging mass deportations. Mass deportations? You're never going to get another Venezuelan out of this country again.
Sir, you're giving comments to the local PD. Do you have any comments to the community, the people that want you out, the people who are here specifically because your department is here?
My goodness.
You're going to give comment.
How are you a Trump supporter? How are you still a Trump supporter? He's leaving his people in the field like this? I mean, it's almost like a football team is in the middle of a game and it looks like everyone just left to go to the locker room and the game's still going on. There's one nigga on the field, like, what's going on? And he's bleeding out on the field. What the actual fuck is going on right now?
Comment for the people of Minneapolis.
I have nothing to say.
You damn well better not have anything to say other than I resign. What the hell? You signed up for that?
I cannot comment.
The dude looks terrified. If you're just listening, it's a border patrol, probably border patrol. It says federal officer, Bureau of Prisons. And I don't know if I've seen a guy look more terrified than this as far as like an officer this close up.
Sir, you're giving comments to the people, the local PD. Do you have any comments to the community, the people that want you out, the people who are here specifically because...
And I'm hearing people talk about Kristi Noem, but they don't talk about Trump. Why is that? I'm done with that. I don't know where you guys are at, but if you're still supporting, let's forget about Trump overall, because some of you are just, you've got the MAGA in the veins. I got you. If you're supporting Trump on this, you are batshit. You are crazier than the liberal leftist women. They don't have a man. If you're on the right, I thought you had a man. If you're a woman. If you're not a woman, I thought you were a man. What man supports this? Leaving a guy out there just to hang out to dry, crying on video, getting dressed down by a protester. What man supports this? On the right? Oh, you guys have gone crazy, man. I get it on the left. On the left, they're laughing. I can't even knock you guys on the left. You got it. You used violence, used the tactics, used money for whatever sources they came from, and you won that. But Trump helped you. You didn't win that against a true adversary. Trump helped you. Absolutely inexcusable. Trump needs to be gone. This is inexcusable. He needs to be impeached. I don't give a damn about J.D. Vance or whoever. It doesn't matter who would become president. Donald Trump must be impeached. This is embarrassing. And the only reason you don't see a push like this is because the people behind Donald Trump, they fund the media space that used to be alternative, and now it's just a bunch of random people in their studio who are the MSNBC of MAGA. Terrible takes, disingenuous takes, ignoring big topics, and covering up for their funders. They're covering up for who pays them. And if it weren't for that, in a legitimate alternate media environment, there would be calls for Donald Trump to get the hell up out of office. Now, I don't even want to hear from this bro. I've been asking, where is he at? Where is he at? He made a couple statements today, but it's just pure chaos in Minnesota right now. For what purpose? It's just not stopping. The protesters have won. So I put on the title just because I'm trying to get the title to do what titles do, is to get people to click through. Trump bringing in the feds to control and to deport people, do mass deportations in Minnesota. No, that's not what's happening.
Great time to step down, please. Please.
So this is the video where his people came and got him. How did it happen that he was by himself?
Department. We're all under arrest. Sit down. This is the Minneapolis Department. You are all under arrest. Sit down on the ground. This is a lawful order for the Minneapolis Police Department. This is a lawful order for the Minneapolis Police Department. You are under arrest. Get out of here.
That's what's happening. The footage is beyond crazy. It's beyond disturbing. When is it going to be enough, y'all? Trump was president during the summer of love. Is this not a pattern at this point? How many lives are we going to do where this is the memories of Donald? This is how I'm going to remember Donald Trump, is like this. Broken glass, feckless. Merrick Garland has more heart than Donald Trump. Merrick Garland went harder than Donald Trump, Pam Bondi. And you know, it's funny because his voice sounds so crackly and so feeble and weak. That dude was savage. He didn't make any pomp and circumstance about what he was going to do. He just did it. You're involved with concerns about the curriculum at your school. Feds come through. We're going to need to talk to you. Donald Trump's president, all riots, everything's on the table, man. It's all on the table. I can't believe we see what they did with J6ers. And this type of stuff happens. Nope, nothing. There's no Law and Order. There's no smackdown. So what are we doing? How long is this going to go on for? It's not an accident. It's on purpose. I got a little update on what's happening. I'm going to give you the news if you haven't been paying attention today. Maybe you're watching football or whatever else. Who won the game? Who won the games today? I don't even know. But maybe you're doing something else. But let's take a look at kind of a breakdown of what happened today.
The scale of the operation and protest tactics. The current unrest in the Twin Cities is being driven by what Immigration and Customs Enforcement officials have described as their largest enforcement operation ever, involving the deployment of over 2,000 immigration officers to Minnesota and resulting in more than 2,000 arrests since December. In response to this surge, community activists have developed sophisticated counter-tactics, forming rapid response networks that utilize whistles to warn residents of approaching ICE patrols and trailing federal agents through the streets to document their...
So if your enemy in this case is set up, they're ready. They've got a whole system. I'm going to get into that. They've got a whole system set up. You keep coming there. You don't have enough manpower, clearly. They're already waiting for you. They're set up. They've got communications. They've got planning, preparation. Why would you keep going into that lion's den? There's nothing that's going to happen from that unless you break down those communications, the funding, all that kind of stuff. That's why I keep bringing up Pam Bondi would have to get involved. Cash Patel would have to get involved. Chrissy Noem, I don't know what she's doing. Probably getting another surgery or something. She'd have to tell the doctor to put down the scalpel or whatever procedures he gets. Put down the needle, put down the scalpel. I've got to work a little bit today.
Movements. The demonstrations have evolved into nightly noise protests specifically designed to deprive federal agents of sleep. These actions involve banging pots, blowing whistles, honking car horns, and even banging directly on the windows of hotels, where agents are believed to be billeted. This has created a volatile dynamic, where protesters are actively hunting for agent locations, while federal authorities view the harassment as a direct threat to officers.
They went in to do deportations. Minnesotans are hunting them down.
Safety. The home suites clash. The violence reached a specific flashpoint on the evening of January 25, 2026, when demonstrators converged on a home suites by Hilton in the metro area. Unlike previous noise demonstrations, this incident escalated when a group attempted to storm the hotel lobby. In response, a force of more than 40 officers equipped with high-visibility tactical gear established a hard perimeter around the property. At approximately 9:50 p.m. CST, as the crowd refused orders to disperse, authorities deployed tear gas and flashbang grenades, filling the hotel entrance with plumes of chemical irritants. The confrontation forced police to block off University Avenue and resulted in multiple arrests during a chaotic standoff that was not quelled until nearly 11 p.m., illustrating the thinning line between protest and riot.
Yeah, it's not really, the line's not really that thin. It's pretty obvious what a protest is and a riot. We might talk about that. Somebody help me out. Is this a protest or a riot? I think it's pretty clear. Maybe somebody needs to tell Dave Smith. There's a clear line between a protest and a riot, and Dave Smith went back and forth with Matt Walsh today. Damn, they are annoying. My goodness. If every single one of them were turned into a lead Swiss cheese and turkey sandwich or roast beef sandwich, I'd be perfectly fine with it, to be honest with you. I've had enough. This is unnecessary. This is violence. I don't know what your intent is. I don't know what you're doing. If I had the right to be there, then that's not going to solve anything, but I'm just saying, and I don't want that to happen. I'm just saying that that's how serious this is. Somebody's going to have to do something because this is going to escalate for me.
Catalyst, 2 fatal shootings. The intensity of these clashes is fueled by 2 fatal shootings of Minnesota residents by federal agents within 3 weeks. The first involved Renee Good, a 37-year-old mother killed on January 7th, while agents claimed she tried to ram them with her SUV. Bystander video suggested she was attempting to drive away. The tension exploded following the January 24 killing of Alex Preddy, a 37-year-old ICU nurse and Army veteran. While Department of Homeland Security officials allege Preddy was armed and assaulted officers, video verified by news outlets contradicts this, showing Preddy holding only a cell phone before being tackled. The footage appears to show agents disarming him of a holstered weapon while he was pinned, only to open fire at point-blank range seconds later. Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara publicly stated he saw no evidence Preddy pointed a gun at officers.
I don't care. I absolutely don't care. Why are you involved? You shouldn't even be involved with them doing whatever they're busy pushing down women into the snowbanks. Let them do what they need to do. That's not, if I walk down the street and I see a police officer pushing somebody into a snowbank, I'm not jumping in to do anything. That's not my business. It's not my business. I'm not jumping in. I don't know what's going on. I don't know the context. I don't know what. It's not even, and more than that, it's not even the police officer. If these federal agents have to do crowd control, let me give you a hint, leftists. If they have to do crowd control, they'll do it with 9 shots. That's the crowd control. Be thankful they're not doing it more. Your right to protest does not mean you get to do whatever the hell you want. This is earlier, presumably from today. Setting up border walls reminds you of Portland or somewhere. It's in the cold. I did not think this is the culture. Ever since 2020, our country has adopted this new culture of violence, kind of violent type protests from the left mostly. I never thought that they would be doing it in the wintertime. This is pretty bold. This is pretty bold. It's cold out there, man. Who wants to be out there? I'm not. Are you going to go out there? It was cold where I am today. Typically, it's not as cold as that. Over there, I guarantee it's colder than where I'm at. We're in single digits. A friend of the show, Boring Life, hit me up on Twitter, and said, check this out. Because I was like, how do these random people know where ICE is going to be. Like, do you know where ICE is in your state? I don't know where ICE is. I mean, I care in a larger sense, but I'm not walking around my day like, where is ICE? They literally know where ICE is, like to the block. How is it? What we're seeing here is reportedly from Cam Higby. Cam Higby says, here's the entire training manual for domestic terrorist patrols chasing ICE agents in Minneapolis. Keep in mind, this is the watered down OPSEC version. This is the training manual for the people involved. Mobile patrol. I mean, this is on the training manual. There's a table of contents. Boring Life put me onto the Signal, which I'll get to that. I thought this was the Signal, but this is the table of contents stuff. Minnesota Best Practices Guide for Neighborhood or Area Patrol. I mean, it looks like a corporate manual. It's funny, if they put that same effort into a job, they probably have a nice job. Patrolling community. Patrolling and commuting. Mobile patrol. This is their manual of basically the leftists. Stationary patrol. They're more organized than Kristi Noem and her people are. They're way more organized, and as from an outsider looking in, they're way more prepared, more numbers, more organized. Information for all patrol types. I mean, they're breaking it down now. You can see with AI, it can make stuff like that, but so it's easier to produce. But I mean, it still looks good. I mean, it doesn't look like slop. I mean, that looks like quality stuff here. This is the Signal chat that went viral, 18 million views. How is this happening? They have a Signal chat. And he's showing some of the people in there. He says, I have infiltrated organizational signal groups all around Minneapolis with the sole intention of tracking down federal agents and impeding, assaulting, and obstructing them. Buckle up, all will be revealed. Each area of the city has a signal or several signals. Let's start with a screen recording of all members. I've been undercover inside groups for days. You'll notice emojis next to people's names. Here's a key for what they mean. Highlighted positions are the most crucial. Most are self-explanatory. Mobile patrols spend their entire shift. How do you have time for this? I guess, when you don't have kids, you could do a lot. I mean, that's why people have those TikTok videos of dual income, no kids, because they're just wilding. When you don't have to pay for daycare or, after school care or all the sports stuff and all that kind of stuff, I guess you got a lot of money. Your insurance, I don't know how these people make a living. I actually don't know. But like, say you had to pay for insurance, even if it's through your employer, if you don't have kids, it could be cheaper. It just depends. Especially if you're single. Highlighted positions are most crucial. When they find one, they send it. So this is the shift for suspicious vehicles. When they find one, so this is why they were misidentifying them. Probably, when you got a new employee and you got to bring them up to speed, and you go through the training, but you don't really know how to do it. That's kind of probably what happened. When they find a suspicious vehicle, probably it was new people on a shift who were mistaking the construction worker or Domino's or whatever for an ICE vehicle. It was probably the newbies. They sent it to the group so that plate checkers can compare with their database. How these niggas got databases? And see if it's a known federal vehicle or if the patrol, this is making Trump look really, really bad, can make the confirmation so that the database can be updated. Dispatch, they have a dispatch too. Dispatch runs a maxed out call all day telling protesters where ICE has been spotted and how they can be best impeded. So is that what happened with Renee Nicole Good? Each occupation or shift position, protesters have to undergo training. Yeah. It's unclear what the training entails other than numerous slides of instruction. It's no different than a corporate job. I've seen it mentioned separately. Who's paying for all this? It's a good question. How are they making money? Each chat for a specific part of each city has smaller districts broken up called patrol zones, which guide ICE chasers on where they should be. It's all zoned out. Sharing our Bloomington patrol zone map, which is loosely based on city council districts. How many people do they have involved with this? That they can cover this much territory? How are they better trained than your federal officer? Where's the money going? So how much money did we send to ICE? Remember, I talked about that when they did the bill. And we're gonna come up with another government shutdown in a second, because what does it really mean? When they passed the last, I think it was the continuing resolution, and I was like, they put all this money to ICE. Where's it going? And then I did the other video. I was like, well, a lot of it's going to the marketing to recruit ICE, but that's not deportation. So if you really need to recruit more people, then you can't go to Minnesota understaffed. It's just a logistical thing. Here's a screen recording of their plate database as well as a link to its instructions. I told you AI will give people the ability to do a lot, and I'm guessing they probably just put that in the database, AI, and they're good. Here's a screenshot of the active dispatch call. This is great work by Cam Higbee. A dispatch call, it's always active as well as a shift change. You can see folks are changing their emojis, clocking in and out. Man, you can't get people to work a legit job and do stuff like this on point. It's amazing what you can accomplish when you put your mind to it and you apply yourself. I'll also attach below a video of dispatch actually tracking the vehicle I was in, claiming that we were confirmed ICE.
White Chevy Silverado with the newly changed plates with the coexist sticker on the back. We're on Irving and Lake Street, going north on Irving.
I mean, she's crystal clear. She's professional. Damn. You can do, man. You can, if you take all that energy that you would put into being a good mother, a good wife, a good member of your community, and you put it into, you can channel all that energy and put it into something, and you become a star. This is not ICE. ICE is probably not this organized. You saw them leave that dude off in the cold by himself, bleeding out, basically. Here's the other side of it.
We seem to be the only commuters following. Just wanted to give an update on our location.
Thank you. Do you have anyone in the car with you?
Yes, I do.
Lovely. Thank you.
And we are getting a photo sent to the chat for confirmation.
What the The car that they're tracking is his car. James O'Keefe had a post where he was like, I usually can lose a tail. I couldn't lose these people. They were on every damn block. Wow. I apologize, Minnesota. I was not familiar with your game. Respect. If you don't respect that, then you don't understand the art of war. You better respect your enemy when your enemy is doing something well. Doesn't mean you have to be afraid. But you have to understand this is, wait a second. Wait a second. I'm with, if say you're a border patrol agent and you're seeing this stuff, you're like, wait a second. Kristi Noem is my leader. We have no training. We have no crowd control type training. What we do for crowd control is offing people. Whenever we off someone, it's a big national scandal. And they're organizing a way to get they're organizing in a manner that can get in our way at any moment, at any time, on any block, and looks like damn near the whole Twin Cities area, even the suburbs. Why am I being outclassed?
This is John 612. That we are at Grand and Lake. We're heading toward Irving. We can try and join you.
You don't have a job? What are you doing all day? You don't have a hobby? I guess this is the hobby.
Thanks.
This is like their Super Bowl. None of it exists if Trump just says, I'm out of here. None of it exists. Sometimes you have to know when to cut your losses. Just like, was it Willie Nelson or the other one? One of those country singers was like, you got to know when to fold them. You got to, that's the real thing. You're playing poker. You got to know when to say, wait a second. The odds aren't adding up. I got to get out. So I'm adjusting my take. There is no Trump come in to crush them. How? How does that play out? Because before my take was, you know what, Trump, I think you should either come full force or pull out. Now I'm definitive in my take. He should be out. Because how does it play out? Say Trump goes in full force. Well, how long is he going to occupy the city? The Twin Cities? How long is he going to be in there with whoever he gets from the federal government, the executive branch, whether it's military troops or whoever it is? How do you control that territory? You would have to, if you're going to do the full force one that I was saying you could do. I'm out on it now, just now. Breaking, updated my take. It doesn't make any sense. You go in there, you obviously can stop all this. Well, you can stop it, but you can't break down their whole system. That not with the, it would take more FBI and all that kind of stuff. You would have to stay occupied. And then you would have to say, guys, I'm going to pull the troops out. And if you act a fool again, we're coming right back in. And what do you think they're going to do? They're going to act a fool again because how much money are you spending? And how much political capital are you spending is hurting you, optics-wise, money-wise, and you're not accomplishing anything. They're very annoying. They're very smart. Very organized. No, out. Figure something out. Come up with a better idea. What, do I have to come up with all the damn ideas? You don't have an idea? Maybe stop worrying about these other countries. You're worried about Maduro. My dude, your patrol agents are crying on video in Minnesota. Why are you worried about Maduro for? How does that make any sense? Where are the priorities? Astonishing stuff. This is mind-blowing.
John 612.
Hey, this is Lokito. I'm getting some messages from the WhatsApp group that they're driving around on 28, 29 Pleasant and Pillsbury Avenue. If you want to swing by there first, I'm making...
White
Pleasant and Pillsbury Avenue. If you want to swing by there first, I'm making my way down that way as well. I am on Lake and Park.
That's fucking wild.
I'll relay to the Spanish chat, or sorry, relay to the Uptown Whittier.
Tired.
Thanks, Aaron.
That Ford just great Ford just passed.
On the car. That's it.
Please go on mute. John 612, please go on mute.
Damn. On point.
Lokito, go ahead.
Yeah, that gray F-150 just drove past me on the opposite way towards Cedar. That was on Lake and Park.
That's us.
Thanks.
Yeah.
You could say we've got two commuters behind that F-150.
That's confirmed.
Do we have anyone in this call who's at 28th, 29th Pleasant right now? Lokito, you're not there, correct?
Don't wave at them.
Yeah, do not wait.
Correct, I am on 3rd and Lake. I will be there in probably like 2 or 3 minutes.
This is Liv. I'm at Cedar and Lake going west. Do you want me to keep an eye out?
I'm concerned about the report.
And this is how it plays out in real life. It's Donald Trump just getting bitch slapped. That's what this is. Ama- I know there's all the talk about the funding, and I've talked about the funding. I don't know, man. Can you pay someone to do this? How much money would it take for someone to pay you to do this? I mean, what, 100,000? How much would that be enough? It's a very dangerous situation. You don't know what weapons people have and all that. And I know there's this debate going on online about the 2A. And I agree that I don't know what's going on with Trump's people, like Cash Patel and them. They're completely off the rails with some of their rhetoric, what they say. It's almost as bad as when I think it was Pam Bondi who said something about you don't have freedom of speech or something like that if it's hateful. They're doing the same type of thing with the 2A. The take about Alex Peretti when he got offed, I never said anything that he didn't have a right to have a weapon with him. So I know that there is some inconsistencies or really bad takes coming from Trump's people, but Trump's people are completely trash. Totally trash. I never said anything about a problem with him having a gun. Now, I will say this. Having a gun doesn't mean you won't get vaporized. Having a gun makes you a threat. Now, I don't want to get to the details of what happened here just right now because I have to really break that down. It's really complicated. There's different sources. I know we have a video, but to me, it's hard putting it together, to be honest. I haven't spent a lot of time doing it, but it's not easy. But understand, if you have a gun, that doesn't mean you won't get vaporized. That's not a legal thing. That's not saying I'm not saying he should have it or shouldn't. You make that choice. You have a right to have it. But you had it and you took 9. So what's the lesson? I don't know. Maybe there's a lesson there. You went to the protest with it. I'm not saying you shouldn't have it. I'm just saying it's not a magic force field. It's not always smart to have it. Having it I know it's concealed, and I fully support 2A. There is nothing that should be saying you can't have it concealed anywhere in this country. Of course, you should be able to. But that doesn't mean, what's their point? So you can go at Cash Patel and the others who were saying Cash Patel was wild today. It wasn't just Cash Patel either. It was some other people on the right. But Cash Patel man, what happened to him? Isn't it easy to see that they're compromised? I mean, it's got to be easy to see. Here's Trump. This is Trump's people. All 3 of them. I mean, there's more, but all 3 of them completely terrible.
I mean, thousands of people are marching through Minneapolis. They are targeting the Border Patrol. I mean, it feels like the rhetoric and the protesting is only ramping up. What is your advice to the people right now who are outraged that this is a second killing at the hands of Border Patrol in 2 weeks?
As Christy said, you cannot bring a firearm loaded with multiple magazines to any sort of protest that you want. It's that simple. You don't have that right to break the law and incite violence.
What is he? Why does Trump have these people around him? What is that? What is he saying? They're just completely botching everything. How are we okay with this?
Firearm loaded with multiple.
What is he? I don't even know what he's trying to say. You can't have a gun?
At the hands of Border Patrol in 2 weeks.
As Christy said, you cannot bring a firearm loaded with multiple magazines to any sort of protest that you wanted.
Well, why not? I don't understand. You're confusing me. And I'm not even trying to be against you really on this take. Man.
It's that simple.
What a mess.
You don't have that right to break the law and incite violence. We will, of course, always protect your First Amendment speech. And if you
You know what it comes across? I have not seen this whole segment. It just comes across as, because he looks like he's at home or wherever he is. He's in like a residence or something or office. I don't know, but he's on like a video cam, basically, like a Zoom meeting, basically. And if you go on a Zoom meeting and you're not prepared, you can say some crazy stuff. He's completely unprepared for this conversation. I've probably thought about this more than he has.
Said.
Now, if you're going to hypothetically be banging a bad singing country singer who's attractive, if you're gonna be compromised and have that as your girlfriend, then maybe you take advantage, not take advantage, but you get as many in as you can. And I think he is probably distracted or something, which I can totally understand. What's the point of having a hot Israeli spy who's, of course, she's not a spy, but hypothetically, what's the point of having a hot Israeli spy as your girlfriend if you're not banging her right before you go on and do your Fox hit? But this is what happens if potentially, allegedly, hypothetically, you're legs deep and you got to go live in 3 minutes and they're asking you about 2A.
Ramping up.
Well, they didn't even ask him about 2A. You don't know what to say. What happens if your legs deep and then you're like, oh, shoot, I got to go live right next.
To the people right now who are outraged that this is a second killing at the hands of Border Patrol in 2 weeks.
As Christy said, you cannot bring a firearm loaded with multiple magazines.
That's what it sounds
to
like.
Any sort of protest that you want.
Because when guys are thinking with the other part of their body, the below the belt, you get less smart. You got less blood flowing to the brain. When you have less blood flowing to the brain, somebody asks you not even a 2A related question, and this is what it sounds like.
As Christy said, you cannot bring a firearm loaded with multiple magazines to any sort of protest that you want. It's that simple. You don't have that right to break the law and incite violence. We will, of course, always protect your First Amendment speech. And if you peacefully protest, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. But you have seen a trend here, not just in Minnesota, but across the country, in these protests turning into violent scenarios and people attacking law enforcement. That's when you go over the line, and that's when law enforcement steps in.
This guy's the head of the FBI. I just showed you they have a whole network designed to impede ICE. Do you have anything better to do than to talk about being against the Second Amendment?
Well, thousands of people are marching through Minneapolis. They are targeting the Border Patrol. It feels like the rhetoric and the protesting is only ramping up. What is your advice to the people right now who are outraged that this is a second killing at the hands of Border Patrol in 2 weeks?
As Christy said, you cannot bring a firearm loaded with multiple magazines to any sort of protest that you want. It's that simple. You don't have that right to.
This is how stupid the MAGA movement has become. That you can't even criticize a cross-eyed Jeet when he talks about you can't bring a what? That wasn't even the debate. He created a straw man to go against the whole discussion. You usually create a straw man to not, maybe he didn't want to talk about the actual shooting. Maybe that's what happened. But he just created a straw man that helps nobody.
Break the law and incite violence. We will, of course, always protect your First Amendment speech. And if you peacefully protest, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. But you have seen a trend here, not just in Minnesota, but across the country in these.
I don't know about the bigotry, HD Berg, but yes, MAGA is a cult of lies. What do you mean by bigotry? I mean, people put this kind of stuff out there, and it's like, what does that mean? They're the most, I mean, the tent is so wide, who's not in the tent? What do you mean bigotry? They've got blacks in the tent. They've got druggies in the tent. They've got, who's not in the MAGA tent right now? You guys are just always off by a tick. MAGA is a cult of lies and bigotry. You sound like you've been indoctrinated by somebody. What are you talking about? The only thing that MAGA is a bigot against are non-Zionist Christians. Is that what you mean? Maybe if that's what you mean, I'll take it back. Stuff's too serious to be saying just weird stuff like that. You're just saying stuff. You don't even know what it means.
Protests turning into violent scenarios and people attacking law enforcement. That's when you go over the line.
That comment is so perfect to look at. Where it's like, that's where I'm like, it's so cliche where I'm like, I'm homeless. Like, I don't know where to go. You're saying Trump, the MAGA is full of lies. Okay, you got to be specific too. Obviously, I've been talking about what I think is, I mean, that right there was a lie right here. But then you talk about bigotry, and then I'm like, what? Huh? And then I'm like, where are we going? Brute says MAGA is a verb. Low IQ voters use MAGA as a noun to create a boogeyman. Okay. Thank you, Ice. See, where do I land? Where do I go? That's why I said I jumped off the Titanic and I'm just floating. I'm on a 2x4 in the middle of the ocean. And I'm by myself. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know where I'm gonna get my next meal. I'm just floating. I'm shark food in the middle of the Atlantic after jumping off the Titanic. And I'm watching you all on the boat, and y'all are coming back to me and yelling, "Hey, thank you, Ice." And I'm kind of wishing, like, oh man, maybe I should go back on the boat because I don't know where I'm at. Where am I gonna go? And then I see a comment that says, "Thank you, Ice," and I'm like, "Thank you for what? For what? What is ICE doing? What are you thanking them for? They're in Minnesota. They're not deporting anybody. What are they doing? They're crying and bleeding out. What are you thanking them for? They're getting clowned. They're less prepared than the protesters, the rioters, the domestic terrorists. They're less prepared. They're less organized. They're outmanned. What are you thanking them for? What? Righteousness check said, facts. Why are they thanking ICE? I have no idea. I don't know why they're thanking ICE. Hail Putin, the world's greatest leader. We got random comments in here. We got a random Putin supporter in here. And just for the record, I am not a Putin supporter. I'm not a Putin hater or anything. I mean, it's not my country, so I don't know. Thank you, ICE, for deportations. What deportations? What do you mean? They're barely doing anything. They should go on strike. They should be like, what am I doing over here? They're ICE is doing a lot of things. Focusing on efficient deportations is not one of them that I've seen.
Law enforcement steps in.
Well, you know, I mean,
just wild to see what's happening, man. The whole thing is, man, when MAGA fell apart, man, they weren't playing around, man. When MAGA fell apart, they fell the fuck off.
KM, I'll probably have you stay on that F-150, but anyone else that's on this call that is currently on that F-150, I think we could use our resources and energy better somewhere else.
I agree. If there's somewhere you
I know it's funny in an awkward way. It's funny because in my head I'm picturing just unhinged blue-haired liberals, but when you great work by Cam Higbee, and I don't blame him for laughing because it is kind of awkward in a funny way But when you see it in reality, you're like, wait a second, this is like corporate America. She sounds like a boss. She sounds like if they don't listen to her, she's gonna beat somebody's ass or get somebody fired or something like that. I mean, she sounds like she's in a position of authority.
These 5 observers are on there. KM, I'll probably have you stay on that F-150. But anyone else that's on this call that is currently on that F-150, I think we could use our resources and energy better somewhere else.
This is corporate America. You go in the meeting and you're like, wait, how many resources did you spend on the project? What's the return on investment? I think we could use our resources a little bit better, a little bit more efficiently.
I think we could use our resources and energy better somewhere else.
I'm about to crash the F out. The rioters are talking about how they use their resources more efficiently, better, to get more bang for their buck. And you maggots, and I'm talking about people who still are rocking the red hat. Oh my goodness. You are supporting a president who's doing the exact opposite. Spending millions upon millions. When the feds are in the streets, they're not deporting anybody. They're doing crowd control that they're not even trained to do. Here's what the leftists that you try to call stupid. Does this sound stupid to you? Your guy has no thought of efficiency. But them, when they get on their calls in the heat of the battle, in the heat of the tracking down cam right here, they're saying you're not efficient enough.
But anyone else that's on this call that is currently on that F-150, these 5 that's on this call that is currently on that F-150, I think we could use our resources and energy better.
Donald Trump, Kristi Noem, I'm going to go with those two, are burning through Capitol to accomplish lower public sentiment and to destroy the thought of mass, to put a stake in the heart of mass deportation movement with inefficiencies. Well, if that is their goal, it actually probably is efficient for them. And then this is the other side.
That is currently on that F-150, I think we could use our resources and energy better somewhere else.
It's not that funny.
I agree. If there's somewhere you want to send us, that's great. Otherwise, we could go up into Phillips.
And then they say they agree. So then when I tell your dumbass, why are we spending so much money per deportation? Then it's like, oh, all of a sudden it's a whatever, I get called. But when she brings it up on their side, on these people, like, this isn't efficient. This is not efficient use of resources. They say, yep, copy. 10-4.
Currently on that F-150, I think we could use our resources and energy better somewhere else.
I agree. If there's somewhere you want to send us, that's great. Otherwise, we could go up into Phillips.
If you want to go up into Phillips, that's great. I'm going to attempt a roll call here in a minute.
No, push back.
Got it.
See, that's what you can do when you have a focused movement. Could you imagine MAGA if MAGA actually had a purpose? That's why I actually really like what Nick Fuentes did with the whole kind of like, oh, Epstein was cool. I'm going to do the quarter zip Epstein, because he was like, if this movement is going to have a focus, it can't be buffoonery. It can't be dancing on your live stream to club music in a costume, like the sewer people in New York costume. It can't be going to the nearest hooked nose to tap dance and say, I didn't mean to do this, I didn't mean to do that. It can't be a leftist that says, even though I disagree with Nick on the Venezuela, I'm not attacking Nick, and I'm not saying Nick is Nick is much more well-read and smarter than I am, so I'd be very careful to do that in the first place. But my point is, it's not coming from Nick has sold out. There's all these people who have listened to Nick and during the generational run that won't be a part of any type of movement or cause with a purpose. So he's trying to filter them out. When you look at this, what would have happened if she said, no, I left my kid at the daycare, and my wife is at home waiting for me, and I'm out here doing the ICE patrol. Don't tell me it's something more efficient. I want to impede ICE. Imagine if she had talked back to her supervisor.
I think we could use our resources and energy better.
Imagine if she had talked back to her supervisor. That's what happened when the tent gets too wide. When the tent gets too wide, you get people who don't know what the purpose is. You can argue Sneeko and Tate and all these ancillary characters who aren't hardcore, whoever you think are the hardcore gropers of the movement or the hardcore MAGA. What happened to the hardcore MAGA? No, you let all these people in the tent. So then you say, wait a second, I thought our goal was mass deportation. This is inefficient. Let's think about it. No, all of you bitch ass niggas try to put pushback, and there's no substance. It's just like, oh, you sold out, or you're a leftist, or it's all this vacuous, like Pam Bondi type vacuous, vapid statements like, oh, you're a sellout, or then you start doing the whatever name calling and the straw manning. Wait a second, I'm giving you math. So she's giving math right here.
I think we could use our resources and energy better.
So when I give you math, maggots, you come back with bullshit. But when you are focused in a movement and there's a legit point, this is what it sounds like.
Sprout, I agree. If there's somewhere you want to send us, that's great. Otherwise, we could go up into Phillips.
That's what it sounds like. It's efficiency. Yep, you're right. We got 3 people tailing Cam Higbee. We don't need 3 on his tail. There's a couple ice down the block. We're going to tell me. And then she put it back on her. If there's a better use, it was a very smart thing. She was like, basically, she said, bitch, if there's a better use of my time, why don't you proactively tell me? That's what that was. This is corporate speak.
Sprout, I agree. If there's somewhere you want to send us, that's great. Otherwise, we could go up into Phillips.
Yep, that's corporate speak. For bitch, don't tell me I'm being inefficient. You're dispatch. So tell me where to go. But done professionally.
I agree. If there's somewhere you want to send us.
So when there's a legit point, you're all swimming, you're all in that crew, the rowing crew, rowing together. I used to play in an orchestra. You play in sports. You can't make the tent too wide. Otherwise, everybody doesn't know the play call. And that's what happened to MAGA. And that's what Nick Fuentes, I'm not going to speak for him. That's my interpretation of Nick is like, okay, I like the generational run, but that's where he's going with it. And he was doing that during the generational run where he was like low IQ anti-Semitism. And at first I wasn't against Nick, but I'm trying to analyze like, wait, what is he doing here? It didn't take me long. Within the first time I heard him saying it, I knew what he was doing. He was basically saying, if you want to be a part of this movement, well, first of all, understand what we're about. We're not an anti-war libertarian movement. I don't know if you thought that was the case. It's dependent, war dependent. And that's not totally my position. I'm just telling you, he's keeping it pure. So if you want to be a hanger-on, or I would say I am I was going to use the word ally, but that's a gay leftist word at this point. But I am I guess a friend of movement. Understand, don't attack me when I say I am okay with the Maduro stuff, because here's my ideology. I can do a live stream 2 hours breaking it down why. I'm not just making this shit up. And I can say, yep, I have a slightly different approach, but I'm not going to counter signal you because you've got the group. I support your group. We're not going to agree on everything. That's how a movement works. That's how a movement works. MAGA is just complete nonsense.
On this call that is currently on that F-150, I think we could use our resources and energy better somewhere else.
Sprout, I agree. If there's somewhere you want to send us, that's great. Otherwise, we could go up into Phillips.
If you want to go up into Phillips, that's great. I'm going to attempt a roll call here in a minute. Got it. Sprout, do you have a passenger?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, KM, you disengage.
You cannot bring a firearm loaded with multiple magazines to any sort of protest that you want. It's that simple. You don't have that.
Sound like a straight left Democrat leftist with multiple magazines. Like, wait a second, what side am I on here? I don't even know where I'm at. You sound like the most rabid of leftists. And then here he is in 2021.
Right to break the law and incite violence. We're raising money. If you have a case, we will review it for free, and we will cut the check to the lawyer to file your defamation case and get your name.
So that's why I'm like, is it just me? Because I used to support Cash Patel, and I'm not talking about the Jays today, but that was before I was even thinking about the Jays. And I'm like, I'm thinking in my head, how? Why? That's back when I was listening to Tim Pool and all that. But you can kind of see it. When it came to Kyle Rittenhouse, he was right.
We're raising money. If you have a case, we will review it for free, and we will cut the check to the lawyer to file your defamation case and get your day in court. If Kyle Rittenhouse's team is listening, or your audience is tweeting, this is what Fight with Cash is for. We will help Kyle Rittenhouse's defamation cases. We will pay for them by raising money so he can clear his name like I'm clearing mine. You cannot bring a firearm loaded with multiple magazines to any sort of protest that you want. It's that simple. You don't have that right to break the law and incite violence. We're raising money. If you have a case, we will review it for free, and we will cut the check to the lawyer to file your defamation case and get your day in court. If Kyle Rittenhouse's team is listening, or your audience is tweeting, this is what Fight with Cash is for. We will help Kyle Rittenhouse's defamation cases. We will pay for them by raising money so he can clear his name like I'm clearing mine. You cannot bring a firearm loaded with multiple magazines to any sort of protest that you want. It's that simple. You don't have that right to break the law and incite violence. We're raising money. If you have a case, we will review it for free, and we will cut the check to the lawyer to file your defamation case and get your day in court. If Kyle Rittenhouse's team is listening, or your audience is tweeting, this is what Fight with Cash is for. We will help Kyle Rittenhouse's defamation cases. We will pay for them by raising money so he can clear his name like I'm clearing mine. You cannot bring a firearm loaded with multiple magazines to any sort of protest that you want. It's that simple. You don't have that right to.
This is not me saying what I'm going to do or what I think anybody else should do or encourage it. Like, thought experiment. Like, surely this government is not expecting me to pay taxes to them, right? Like, to send them my money so that they can offer $50,000 bonuses, which for the record, they're not even paying out and only pay out after 5 years of service to all of the losers who think that they're going to sign up to disappear people and then get $50K. But surely this government does not think that I am going to give them money to kidnap the president of Venezuela, right? Like, surely
this is based. Yeah, it's time to start thinking like that.
Surely not. And also, if no one wanted to pay taxes, surely no one could have any issue with that because it's a totally non-violent. That's actually what Henry David Thoreau's civil disobedience was about, was refusing to pay taxes. Surely they don't expect me to pay the portion of my student loans that is to the government.
I agree with her here, but even with this one, I'm like, wait a second. Ooh, to say that you're not going to pay taxes is nonviolent. Is that nonviolent protest? I don't know about that. Maybe it is, and it's late at night. But if I'm a landlord, no, I don't. I'm not going to call that nonviolent. Let's. Gosh, I can't play any clip without having a disagreement. I just feel like I have to disagree with everything. But I'm sorry, I don't agree. I agree with her to contemplate the taxes, but it's not violence in obviously kinetic, but it is. How would I say that? I need AI to. I don't even know how to speak anymore. I don't even know the proper way to say that. But it is an escalation. We are in an agreement of 50 states in the union. We've agreed on the taxes, as bad as they are. So you're on the right track, woman. I just don't know her name. Woman, and this is from Cassandra McDonald is the one posting a lot of these, and she's doing a great job on it. The X algorithm. I might do a live breaking it down. I looked at every line of that code, believe it or not. Literally every single line of the public code that was made public about 5 days ago, and I have it in a notebook LM. Maybe I'll do that because I'll get tired of this. I might show you a little bit of that. If you're interested in that, stay tuned. And remember, I used to do lives. I don't know if people watch the show. Tens of people watching where I used to do lives where I would just break down AI and the algorithm and all that. Notebook LM is what I'm using, so I'll do that maybe shortly here. But Cassandra McDonald, friend of show, is posting a lot of these. And X is a video platform now. I mean, that might change, but it's literally from the code. Looking at the code and analyzing the code, it's a video platform. The more words you post, the less likely you are to crack through the algorithm, especially if you are a smaller side. If you have millions of followers, you can kind of get a boost separately. But she's posting these and people are thinking like she's supporting them or they're her. They're not. She's not supporting them. She's posting them to show like these people are, it's like libs of TikTok. These people are bizarre. But this one isn't really that bizarre, and I don't think Cassandra portrayed it as that. But when you say that not paying taxes is nonviolent, it's not. It is. I guess it is nonviolent, but it is an escalation that could lead to obviously would lead to violence with people knocking on your door with guns. So let's not just say nonviolent and just leave it like that, because that's the same type of thing as saying I'm going to impede ICE. It's nonviolent. Well, no, that's breaking the law. The laws we agreed to. The order of operations, and this is why women just really should be out of this space, to be honest with you, is they just don't think like this. That's not their biological upbringing. That's not what they're on the earth to do. Women are not on the earth to challenge the government making us pay taxes. That's just not what they're done naturally here to do. Just like it's who would hire a male babysitter? Nobody does that. The men are not babysitters naturally. You'd have to be insane to hire a male babysitter, to be honest with, to choose a male babysitter. The order of operations would be you got to separate from the country first. You got to leave the union first before you want to say I'm not going to pay taxes. You can't be in the union, get the benefits of the union, and then say I'm not going to pay taxes because I don't like this one thing. You can leave the union because you don't like this one thing and deal with it that way. But it's a great example of why women shouldn't be in this space at all.
Send them my money so that they can offer $50,000 bonuses, which for the record, they're not even paying out and only pay out after 5 years of service to all of the losers who think that they're going to sign up to disappear people and then get $50K. But like, surely this government does not think that I am going to give them money to kidnap the president of Venezuela, right? Like, surely not. And also, if no one wanted to pay taxes, surely no one could have any issue with that because it's a totally non-violent. That's actually what Henry David Thoreau's civil disobedience was about, was like refusing to pay taxes. Like, surely they don't expect me to pay the portion of my student loans that is to the government. Like, surely not. Hypothetically, because that would have to be organized. That would have to be like a mass movement and refusal. And obviously there are consequences. It's just like...
Okay. I've had enough. I'm good. So I've put the... I've looked at all the code in there, and I'm not a coder, but I had to break it down using ChatGPT and Notebook LM. And I just broke down the algorithm, and there's a lot of interesting stuff here. Let's first take a look at, and I'm going to switch the topic to X because I find it interesting. And I don't know if I'm going to employ the tactics or not. I'm already kind of looking at it, but I think the first step is to figure out what is it. And Elon Musk could change it any day. I think he said they're going to release it every month or something like that. But he had promised that before and never did it. But we'll see. And the algorithm is not static. So this was released about 5 days ago or a week ago and the algorithm could be changed obviously the second after they uploaded this, and we don't even know if this is the real algorithm. There's no way for us to verify that this was the real algorithm, but it's information nonetheless from Elon. He said it's from him and the team, And so we can kind of go through it and take a look at it. Let me kind of start with this. For someone who is layperson, let me see if for someone who's a layperson, let's take a look and see what happens when you tweet. Tell me what happens when you post a tweet on your timeline. And it should be able to go through. I have all the code in here, and it should be able to go through it and kind of give you the lay of the land. It's very fascinating. I didn't talk about all I wanted to with I just got off on a tangent, as usual. And I'm done with the topic, at least for right now, with the ice. Here's what happens when you open X to view your timeline. To the algorithm, your request is a query. The system must filter millions of possibilities down to the handful of tweets you actually see. This happens in a massive pipeline called the Phoenix Candidate Pipeline. Again, the only source for this right here, there is no other internet source or anything, is the code that was released by Elon Musk and the X team. The gathering sourcing. The system immediately pulls tweets from 2 different buckets to build a list of candidates. What does that mean? Let's continue on. I don't fully understand that. The Thunder, I've already looked at this and I don't, that's confusing to me, but I'm still learning. This is only from yesterday I was looking at it. The Thunder bucket in network, those are your verified followers, I believe. I need to get a kind of a breakdown of this. The Thunder bucket, the system checks your following user IDs and pulls the most recent posts from the people you follow. This is the Thunder client ensuring you see your friends. I'm confused. Let me just tell it. I'm confused. Still too high level. Do more explaining. Let's go peace. This is free. This is what free speech has come down to. All the platforms, TikTok, YouTube, they all use algorithms. This is the town square. The town square has been privatized because you can go to your park town square. Nobody care. Nobody cares if you go to. That's what it used to be because everybody was outside. That was literally, there was no internet. That was the town square. So now we put everybody digital. The town square is digital. And now your free speech is a video game. Still too high level. Do more explaining. Let's go piece by piece. I want to follow the path. Let's just pretend. Let's make up a tweet. Pretend tweeted Trump should be impeached. What happens to that tweet first? Explain like a 4th grader needs to understand. Let's take a look at that. So it's loading up right now. I'm hoping it does a better job. It's amazing how fast it is, though. It's going through a lot of files. And some of those files have a lot of stuff in them. Let's do step by step. Imagine your tweet, Trump should be impeached, is a student trying to get into a very crowded party, someone else's phone screen. Before it can get in, It has to pass 5 checkpoints. Already much easier for me to understand. I love that. Checkpoint 1, the 2 buckets, sourcing. As soon as you hit post, the X computer looks at who might want to see it. It throws your tweet into 2 big buckets. The friends bucket is Thunder. This is for people who follow you. The computer grabs your tweet instantly for them. And this is where I think Nick Fuentes, people wonder, because what Data Republican was talking about with the whole Nick Fuentes thing where they were trying to say he was botted or whatever, is they know the algorithm and they know there is an algorithm, and they don't like that Nick Fuentes, he doesn't have a blue check. He can get around the algorithm. And they're like, how? And the Groypers and others were pretty clear and said, well, because he has a lot of followers and he has a hardcore, passionate base, just like Trump did, that have notifications on. So when you get him, when he does a tweet in the friends bucket, you can see he sanitizes his tweets pretty well to get into the strangers one too, but he'll get in the friends bucket and people get notifications on their phones. Not many people have support to that level. The strangers bucket is called Phoenix. That's literally what it's called in the code. This is the For You feed. The computer uses math to decide if your tweet is similar to other things people like. If you're lucky, your tweet gets picked up there too. And you know what the For You is a curated, it's not in chronological order. It's not just people you follow or who follow you. It's X chooses who's in that feed through this Phoenix bucket. Checkpoint 2, the backpack check hydration. Now the computer stops your tweet and says, what is inside you? It checks for video. This is what I was talking about with Cassandra McDonald. A lot of people have already known this. I've known this for a while. It's just annoying to upload video. And you can download TikTok videos and just upload them. It's good. I'm just not passionate about it. But if you're someone like Cassandra or whatever, you could make some good money because she already has a lot of followers. And you can see she's kind of sanitizing hers a little bit too, which is smart. She should get paid. But it checks for video. The code looks to see if you have a video file. Since your tweet is just text, the computer marks your video duration as none. So you don't get the boost. So and this is not replying to people, this is a post to your timeline. Well, the video does reply. I'm only talking about posts to timelines, but some of it does apply to replies. That's a different topic though. I'm talking about post to your timeline. It says you don't have a video. Basically, you don't get a boost. This is bad news for you. I like how this is worded now. Videos get a VIP pass later. So if I posted Trump should be impeached and I put, it doesn't really matter what the video, at least have a video there. That's why you see some people do a 5-second video. You see the breaking news sites. Their video is kind of like a GIF or GIF. They just want the video boost. Videos get a VIP pass later. You are now in the slow lane. If you have a video, we'll get to that. You get to go in the fast lane. Check 3, the forbidden words, filtering. This is the most dangerous part for a political tweet. The computer looks at the person trying to read their feed. Let's call him Bob. So I post, Trump should be impeached. That's literally the tweet. Nothing else. Mute filter. Does Bob have the word Trump or impeached on his muted word list? The computer reads every single word in your tweet. If one word matches Bob's mute list, your tweet is immediately thrown in the trash. It doesn't matter how good it is, Bob will never see it. So the longer your post, including articles with 1,000 words, 2,000 words, or a longer tweet, you might have Trump, you might have Noam, you might have MAGA, you might have politics, you might have Myron, you might have Nick Fuentes. If one of those words is on someone's mute list, you're done. So imagine a 2,000 word article coming from Jew or Zionist or Christian or nationalist. The more words you type, the less your reach, potentially. So X is a video platform now. It is not a text platform. Elon Musk did mention that he is going to do something with articles. I don't know what that would be. He would have to create a different avenue because right now articles are treated just like a regular, it's a long Twitter post. So if you have a 3,000 word article, which is really long, but if you have a 3,000 word article, it checks every single word. And if I have on mine Sydney Sweeney muted, and maybe your article's about Trump and I would want to see it, and you're making a Sydney Sweeney joke, I would never see it. But if you put the article in a video, even if the video is 10 minutes long or 5 minutes long, right now the AI is not transcribing the video and filtering the mute list based on the video. It's a video platform. That's why people are putting the memes. I don't know how long that's going to last. I don't think that's going to last long because you can see people putting memes that stop anti-Semitism wouldn't want to see, but it's not getting caught, or videos, and it's not getting caught because it's not analyzing them for mute words and not just that, other words and sentiments to de-rank it. So that's not even shadow banning, that's just people banning. The robot teacher scoring. If your tweet survives the filters, remember my tweet only had 4 words, Trump should be impeached. 4 words. 2 of them are very high on many people's mute lists, probably. At least Trump is. I don't know how high impeached would be. But people could have put that on during Biden or whatever and never turned it off and don't even remember it's on. So just with 4 words, I've already cut down the amount of people who are going to see my tweet. So you can see why I'll have to ask it and figure it out. Like, can you say Orange Man or do something different? How does that affect? How does that affect SEO and all that? The prediction, the robot reads Trump should be impeached and guesses what is the % chance Bob will reply to this? What is the chance he will like it? Now the computer adds up your score. If you had a video, the code adds a bonus point. And the receipts are here called VQV weight. Because you wrote a text article, it's 4 words, it's the same, they treat them the same. The code adds no points. You are starting the race with a disadvantage. So both of us post Trump should be impeached. One person no video, the other person video. The person with the video gets the free speech boost. Freedom of speech, but not reach. You can see why he came up with that with the World Economic Forum CEO that he used to have, Linda Yaccarino. Checkpoint 5, the varsity team selection. Finally, the computer has a list of 1,000 possible tweets for Bob. It looks at the final scores. It picks the top tweets, usually the top 100 with the highest scores. Obviously, they're all going to be with video. If your text, not literally all, but most likely, because you could have a follower like a Nick Fuentes that depends on if Bob likes Nick or whatever the case is, and he doesn't have a video, but it's still a higher probability than some leftist with a video. If your text tweet didn't make the robot angry enough or happy enough to beat a funny cat video, which got the video bonus, your tweet is cut from the team. It is never shown to Bob. Remember, Bob is on the outside team. He is, I just want to double check I'm right. Bob is on the strangers bucket, to my knowledge. Let me just double check that. Is Bob on the strangers bucket? We'll get an answer to that. And then what I'll need to do is give me the full path for followers. Give me the full path for followers. Full path of that tweet for the followers. do followers or follower count mean anything? So, oh no, Bob was not in the stranger bucket. Oh, I misinterpreted that. Based on the analogy from the previous explanation, the answer is no. Bob is not in the bucket. Bob is the person holding the bucket. Wait. Is he a stranger or not? Bob, he is the viewer, the user. He's the one holding the phone and scrolling. The stranger's bucket, this is the source. It is the container holding millions of tweets from people Bob does not follow. I don't think it understood my question there. Is Bob a follower of mine in your example? So let me go back to my other question. It was, okay. Based on the pipeline source code, followers grant you access to the VIP lane Thunder, while follow count is merely a data point the AI considers. When the user who follows you opens their app, your tweet takes a specific privileged path through the code called Thunder source. This path is distinct from the for you. The lookup. The system pulls the viewer's following ideas, the list of people, and specifically requests to get in-network posts, meaning posts from people you follow. This bypasses the vector search used for strangers. If they follow you, again, this only matters in your following tab. It's not in your For You tab. And when you go into Twitter, the For You, I believe, is the default if you're on your phone. If they follow you, your post is explicitly fetched by the idea. I kind of like when they broke it down like the fourth grader. This bypasses the vector search used for stranger. If they follow you, your post is fetched from the post store. You do not have to win a similarity contest to be retrieved. You are retrieved because you're on the list. Okay, so so following does matter. Does following count mean anything? Does having 100,000 followers give you a higher score than having 10? Not directly in the math, but yes, in the AI brain. This data is passed to the Phoenix score, which is actually Grok AI. The weighted score, the final calculation, does not add points for follower count. It adds points for video, likes. It does not have a follower count weight. However, because the author followers count is passed through the neural network, the AI uses it as a feature. If the AI has learned that the high follower count equals higher probability of dwell time, meaning watching a video or looking at the tweet, it will predict a higher score for you. Interesting. If the AI determines that higher follower count, so it does matter. Often leads to, if it matters if the AI believes that your higher follower count leads to people staying on the app. If they believe your higher follower count leads to people blocking you, not interested, you get that option, not interested in this post, it might actually lower your probability. Wow. Very interesting. Critical. They put you in the Thunder bucket, guaranteeing retrieval and protecting you from the out-of-network penalty. Indirect, there's no hard-coded bonus, but it does matter for sure. Is Bob a follower of mine in your example? Based on the architecture defined in the source code, no. In the example where your tweet is pulled from the stranger's bucket, Bob is not a follower. If Bob followed you, yeah, so I was right. I just worded it wrong. So that's the kind of stuff I'm looking at now. It's just a video game. It's no different than like Mario Brothers. And that's how some people are playing it. them making good money doing it. A very small percentage of people doing that. I want the one where it was for like the fourth. Okay, here it is. Forbidden words, guard filtering, mute filter. So Bob, okay. So now we're at the scoring. So it did the scoring, and it picks the top 100. So that was the end of that, basically. Your tweet has to survive the mute filter, beat the video bonus handicap, and impress the robot brain to get onto the screen. And then let's see here. I want to see. Finally, the computer has a list of 1,000 possible tweets. Yep. So you can get into it because you can get into it like what really makes the robot happy, but it's those type of things. It's everything you do. You could break it down. I broke down the if you add a post to your highlights, it plays no factor in the algorithm at all. I didn't know that. Interesting stuff there. Old school coding. I'm not a coder. Are you a coder? I've heard people talk about that. Let me ask it, is there anything, because I remember in the old algorithm that we saw from years ago that there was a backdoor. Let's see. Is there any backdoor coding hidden? Meaning checks or anything referencing a section not provided. Hopefully that's enough to get an answer there. Very, very interesting stuff. There are specific areas where code is missing or where hidden logic resides. The safety filter is a black box. The most significant hidden meaning check is the VF filter, visibility filtering. So basically, that's no different than when before he took it over. That's how it was done. What it does is it calls an external service to label content with tags like abusive spam, violent score. It's not. I want to keep it on that fourth grade. Redo this answer. Keep it on that fourth grade. Must understand level while still referencing code. It was just easier to follow. And so, yes, it looks like there is a safety part where there's always a back door. So there's the other. I said that about the last time. I didn't do as good of it because I didn't have a tool like this. So I did look at the code from I think it was I don't know it's like 3 years ago or something. He released it, but this is the best I've ever been able to break it down. But I just searched backdoor. I think in the old code it literally said backdoor. I don't think it says backdoor now. Oh no. I want the answer about let's see. I want this answer about backdoors. Where is I even say backdoor? Is there any backdoor? I want this answer about this at fourth. All right. So I'm gonna get then this will be the last one that'll be out. I'm not gonna work out tonight. Just I don't even want to drive. I don't have to drive too far for the gym, but just kind of keep it simple. Get some Z's tonight. Based on the code provided, the answer is no. There is no evil secret door for. Jeez, talking about fucking hackers. fourth day level. I'm not talking about hackers. I'm talking about anything that references something not in the code that we can see. Elon claimed he released the code, the algo, but do we really know everything that's happening? I mean, that's got to be enough. I've been raving about Gemini 3, I believe, here, and then now it's messing up. But this is my central AI hub right now is Notebook LM, but I'm still using ChatGPT for researching. So, and then I'll research it, then I'll put it in here for the analysis. So based on the code provided, the answer is no. We do not know everything. Elon Musk released the map of the factory, but he kept 3 very important rooms locked. I just need to tell it to keep it on that 4th grade little tone, period. I just always need that. That's really good. At 4th day level, I'm going to digress for a second. I need that configured. Oh, I did put something. Oh, no, that's not me. Let me put it in here. Answer at level of, so a 4th grader would understand, but do not leave out technical things and don't be patronizing. It doesn't really do patronizing, but just in case. Okay, because I can follow this way better. There are 3 hidden things that the code refers to but does not show us. And remember, I have everything that he made public in here. Let's see. So the first thing is the missing part in the main file. There is a line that says pub mod params. So basically probably parameters excluded from open source. What this means, we know that a like gives you points, but we don't know if it's worth 1 point or 100 points. That number is hidden in the params file, so we can't calculate the exact score. He didn't want people gaming the system is what that one is. That's not the end of the world to not make that public. I mean, obviously I say the whole thing should be public for all these companies, but that's not the worst of them. The hall monitor might be a different story. The safety filter. There's a part of the code called the VF filter, visibility filtering. This is like a hall monitor who decides if a tweet is bad. The missing part, the code sends your tweet to a different computer and asks, is this abusive? The other computer just answers yes or no. What this means is we cannot see the rule book the hall monitor is using. We don't know why it decided a tweet was abusive or spam, only that it did. And that is problematic because that's where he would get the feedback. That's where he would get a lot of the pushback. If you say something innocuous and it says that's abuse, what do they call spam? The robot brain, the AI model, the smartest part of the system is Grok. Grok is not taking it over totally. It's half of it about right now. The missing part, the code connects the brain using a client, Phoenix prediction client, but the brain itself is not in the code, and they would never do that. That's the mother load. That's the real code. So pretty soon, all this is just for show. When Grok is running the whole show, he's not going to show you the code of Grok. So it's almost all this is pretty much worthless. We can see the question the code asks, will Bob like this tweet? See, that's what I was asking. That was my question. How do you know if Bob's going to like the tweet or not? Well, then that's where they have the data of how old Bob is. They'll probably factor in how old Bob is, how often does he use the site. Probably thousands of parameters to decide whether he'll like the tweet or not. What part of the day it is. Maybe Bob likes tweets more in the day or the night or everything. TikTok has the same thing. TikTok allegedly was saying we can use the camera. We look at your eyes. So even if you didn't like a video, we could kind of see from your expression, we think you liked it and we'll give it to you to that level of detail. We cannot look inside the brain to see how it figures out the answer. That's pretty important. So those are the 3 reasons there. He gave us the blueprint for a car. We can see where the engine goes and where the wheels go, but he didn't tell us how much gas to put in. He didn't show us the computer that drives the car. He didn't show us the security guard who decides who is allowed to ride. Very good analogy. So we now know how the car is built, but we don't know exactly how it decides where to go. But you can still get some valuable information from that. Go ICE. We're still getting people cheering ICE. People said talk politics. I thought that was your platform. You're new here. Free speech is political. That's probably the most fundamental thing in politics. What's the number one political platform in the world? It's X. I'm literally breaking it down for you how it works. You don't have to be interested in this. Don't get me wrong. But to say talk politics, I thought this was your platform, but not off topic. I've been off the rails before. I'm talking politics. I'm talking First Amendment right now. The video game code I'm breaking down for you is part of the First Amendment, and damn near every site has this. Every single AI thing you interact with has deep programming like this. I'm trying to help you understand your country now. There's nothing more political than this, actually. Again, you don't have to be interested in it, but don't tell me that's not political. This is the fun. This is like literally the building blocks of our political discussion. All the videos I showed you were from X. This is the algorithm that shows how you get reach or how you don't get reach. This is like football practice, and we're showing how to block. Jam them. Don't get your arms outside. You can get caught for holding. We're hitting the practice dummies. We're doing the drill right now. Stay with me. Hang in there with me. We're doing the drill where you go and try to tackle the guy with the football with everybody else watching. There's stretching. There's warm-ups. There's wind sprints. And on the show, sometimes we eat cake. We'll laugh at some jokes, Sneeko or Nick or whoever, black or white or whoever. And sometimes we'll do the blocking and tackling. Sometimes we do the fundamentals, the chest pass, the bounce pass. I appreciate you giving the show a chance. But that's that. But on that note, I'm going to be out. Elon Musk grok you, the host, for the pigmentations. Do you believe it? Well, wow, is that like spam or something? Well, that is true because I started the video with ICE and I just got tired of the topic. So, spiritual, religious who believe in a higher power probably can attest to this. The machine outsmarted humans. It's for birds, as it were. I don't know if the machine will be able to outsmart. I don't even know what that means. It will be efficient. It'll be better at certain things, but I don't know if the machine will ever be. It won't have a soul. It'll be, I said AI is like a hammer. You would never say a hammer is going to outsmart you. Now, this is different than a hammer because it will be able to do things on its own once you press a button. So it's more like a smart car or lawnmower or something. But there are going to be limitations to AI. It's not going to be all being. But yeah, just to wrap it up, I think I'll double check X as we were talking about X. I'll double check X right now, see if there's any new news. But hopefully there's not. What time is it? It's like 2 a.m. over there. Oh shoot! Looks like somebody hit a. Oh, is that where? Oh wow! Somebody threw a rock at a protester. Looks like a rock, like a brick or something. You see, they always do these things. This is very dangerous.
Get back!
You're just standing there and you have a weapon, but what's the point of the weapon? You know, you're scared to use it. I don't blame you. You don't want to have to use it. I don't blame you. But then you get a rock thrown at you. Shit. Is that how he got? Yeah, man, you gotta get the people out of there, man. And the moral of the story to me is that Donald Trump is, I don't see any other purpose here other than destroying the possibility of gaining momentum to deport people. He's never wanted to do it. It's very similar to the Epstein files. He never wanted to do anything with Epstein. Epstein was unlived under his watch. He brought in people who said Epstein unlived himself. Cass Patel, Dan Bongino. I don't know what the issue is there, but it's all purposeful. There's enough there to say, wait a second, you brought in Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi refused to go all the way with Epstein. Now we got fights. We got ICE. Antifa is hunting. I don't know if this is true or not.
Stream. I got these guys fucking with my fucking shit. Oh, okay. All right, what's good?
Oh, this is a live streamer who got attacked. I don't know who's attacking what, so I'm gonna get off of that one. It is interesting, but I don't know what's happening. And these optics. This show is the only thing that Donald Trump is accomplishing, and it's not to my benefit.
In Minneapolis, we will not cooperate with ICE or any federal agency.
What they are doing is causing chaos and distrust.
And it looks like this is what Trump wants. It's unfortunate. I was hoping for better. I was hoping for more from Trump, but we didn't get it. But hopefully everybody has a good night. I'm going to be out, and we'll continue to chronicle the foibles. I don't know what name I'm going to call it, the foibles in Minnesota right now. It's getting worse. It's getting worse, not better. Good night.